The second leg of the semi-finals of the Champions League between Bayern Munich and PSG ends in a 1-1 draw as PSG win 6-5 on aggregate and advance to the final stage of the competition. Hello everyone, my name is TIK and this is TikTok's Football. So in terms of the goals scored in this game, things actually started off quickly with PSG taking the lead in the 3rd minute of the game, courtesy of Ousmane Dembele, putting them in front, while Bayern Munich were able to equalize in the 94th minute, but it wasn't enough to keep them alive in this time, and that is why PSG are through to the final stage, while Bayern Munich have been knocked out. And so, diving to the stats, we'll see that Bayern Munich had more possession, with them averaging 66% of the ball, while PSG had only 34% of the ball. And then in terms of the total shots, Bayern Munich also had more shots than PSG, attempting 18 shots, while PSG attempted 15. And then out of the 18 shots that Bayern Munich attempted, 6 of them were on target, while out of the 15 shots that PSG had, 7 of them were on target. So PSG had more shots on target than Bayern Munich. And then in terms of the XG, Bayern Munich also had a higher XG than PSG, with them having an XG of 1.41, while PSG had an XG of 1.06. And then in terms of the passes completed, Bayern Munich also completed more passes than PSG, with them completing 573 passes, while PSG completed 301 passes. And then both sides looked to set up differently, with Bayern Munich setting up in a 4-2-3-1 formation, while PSG set up in their usual 4-3-3 shape. And then to analyze the performance of both teams, of course, we have to look into the players that performed well and players that were not really at their best. And so starting with PSG, in terms of players that performed well, I will say again, their front three. Just like the first leg, their front three absolutely shined today. Kvaratskhelia assisting Dembele for the opening goal in the 3rd minute. And then Doué, despite not having a goal or an assist, but still he was able to have an impact, and he was always a constant threat every time he was on the ball. Every time, he was always, every time he had a one-on-one, situation, he was always able to take on his man. But then as for Bayern Munich, of course, you have to look at players like Luis Diaz and Olise, who they actually were able to do 1 or 2. When they were in the 1v1 situation, there were times where they had the chance to dribble, and they were able to dribble, and they were able to, always take on their man and always be a constant threat down the flanks. But then again, there was no end product, and so they couldn't do much. Unlike the first leg that, there were so many goals here and there, and both teams' defense was not that great. Actually, in this defense, I would say both teams were actually solid, defensively. And so that's why not much goals were scored in this game. But yes, I want to know what you think, and also what are your thoughts on this game, and who you think was your best player, who you think was the best performer and the player of the match in this game. And it has also been confirmed that the Champions League final will be PSG versus Arsenal, because Arsenal also beat Atletico Madrid to advance to the final stage. And so let me also know who you think will be the Champions League, and who you think will be crowned the champions of Europe. And as always, you can also click the like, and also and also share this video to your loved ones. And I also want you to subscribe to the YouTube channel, and also turn on your notification bell so that each time I post a video or I post any football content, you will always be notified. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on my next video. Peace out.